People have that dog in them. People can smell you as a person with their gut feeling. And it's like that dog sense. They really got that dog in them. I do, you do. We can all smell the confidence. We can all smell, well, the unconfidence. We can smell if you live in your mom's basement and jack off all the time, or if you're a successful businessman who's on his way to Marbella. Because, we have eyes and we have this gut feeling that we can tell if you're real or if you're faking it. But in today's video, I really want to just go over how I play with people like their dogs and how you can adopt that same mentality, because that's really just all it is. It's beliefs, it's mentality, it's how you carry yourself that allows you to bring that dog out of people, because people just want to play, right? People also just want to play like dogs. We're all just animals. You can play with another human, another adult human, like they're a baby. Everyone wants to be played with. We're still kids. Even if we're grown-ups, we still have that dog, we still have that kid inside of us. And what you gotta realize is that you don't need more skills. You don't need more social skills. Social skills is not the constraint of why you're not playing with people like their dogs already. It's not about your social skills. You'd think it is, because if a guy's really leveled up with his social skills, he just knows what to say, right? He's really witty. He just has the words fly out of his mouth, and the right words just lands in another person's head, and then boom, he got them, right? But that's not how it works. And just because you have good social skills doesn't mean you're necessarily gonna be the guy that can read a room, like they be talking about in these like FBI wannabe videos, right? But the real constraint is actually your kind of authority, so how authoritative of a figure you are, and your comfortness. Because if you're not comfortable, well, that's gonna be able to be smelled by the gut feeling, like I mentioned. And that's really unsettling me. And that's really not how you'd act with your dog, right? You wouldn't just be afraid of them, or seem, a little bit shaky. No, you'd be comfortable as hell, because that's your little dog. You said, Timmy, come here. And then you'd call him, and you'd be the authority figure. You'd say, Timmy, come here. You wouldn't go to Timmy, go on your fucking knees and say, can I get a treat, right? Because you're the authority. But you can be the authority in the human world as well. But I wasn't always the authority. I'm not still the fucking big boss authority, right? That thumbnail I had on this video, the big dick authority, that's what I'm aiming for, right? Because I really want to have that big dick authority. But you can't just be given that, you have to earn it. And I didn't start off very well, because I've always been like kind of this more introvert guy. So in high school and stuff, I really couldn't, you know, read a room. First of all, I couldn't really understand what was happening in the room, like who is this person, who is the confident one, who's the unconfident one, where do I, stand, because I've always been like, felt a little bit different than other kids, because I'm black, and basically all kids in my small town here are white, and I really didn't, make myself the one black guy that's the 40, as you might expect. So I didn't have a 40, but I also didn't have any comfort. I wasn't comfortable being in my own skin. I just kind of observed people. So I got really good at observing people and analyzing people. Like, I understood who the popular kid was, and who was the wimp, and who was the bully and stuff like that. And I could, orient myself around groups of people. I could, be liked by a lot of people. So I did have some social skills, but obviously those weren't the constraints. Because even though I had some social skills, I could talk to, you know, the teachers. I could talk to a friend. I could talk to a girl. I didn't really get them, like, I didn't get super liked by them. I didn't see them as someone they would trust, as someone they would go to, as someone they would be romantically interested in, or like as a friendly matter interested in. So I never was the popular guy. I never got a girlfriend or at all in school, basically, until I was 18 years old. So if you're in a similar boat, or if you can relate to that, well, let me tell you, you're not gonna want to search up social skills how-to videos anymore, because the truth is, you just gotta develop comfortness and authority, and you'll be fine. You'll just naturally play with people like they're dogs. And about your comfortness, the number one thing you can start doing right now to feel more comfortable, because when you do something and you put something in action with your body, it will affect your mind, and that will affect your beliefs, and your beliefs will then, like, it's like a circle. Then you'll just behave like that. The one thing you can do is to move and speak a lot slower. You might notice that I move pretty slow, and I don't talk that fast either. Maybe I even talk slower than this if I'm not actually trying to prove a point or trying to just rant about something. If I'm just out and about and I'm, you know, at the coffee shop and I'm ordering, I'm probably speaking even slower, and I'm moving very slow. I've never been a fast walker, and I remember in high school, just like a year ago, I was walking with my two guy friends, and we used to always walk together for the hallways and stuff, because we had the same classes. We were in the same kind of group, so we had the same classes almost every day. And these guys were like respectable guys, tall guys. I'm also tall, so like they were almost my height, and nice looking guys, you know. And I thought they were confident as well, had really good social skills. But the one thing I thought of that was kind of strange with them was that they were always walking really fast. Like they were always going out of the classroom, maybe standing around a bit, and then when we're gonna go to the next class, we're gonna go to lunch or go to the locker, they were zooming away like this. And like I just thought, why can't we just relax? You know, take our steps slowly and just breathe in the environment, because yeah, we have a class to go to. Yeah, we should go to the locker right now. Yeah, we should go to lunch, but there's no stress in doing it. We're not running out of time right now. We can go and just do whatever we want. If we go slow, we'll actually be able to read the rooms. Oh, and we will notice that, yeah, there's that person over there that we want to speak to, or there's whatever. There's different stuff happening in the school, and shit like that is interesting, because then you can start talking about that, right? But you're not going to be able to read any room or seem like you actually have confidence and have basically comfortness if you're speed walking everywhere, because it seems like you don't want to be seen, or that you're very stressed. And if you're very stressed, well, people aren't going to think you're comfortable, right? You're obviously not going to be comfortable in a very stressed situation, and they're not then going to go to you as the authority. They're not going to want to play with someone like you if you're stressed and speed walking everywhere. A dog wouldn't want their fucking owner to just walk away from them really fast. Like the dog, what the fuck? You're gonna just leave me here? The dog's just gonna sit here and just, why are you leaving me, right? So move and speak a lot slower. Your speech is also going to be so much more effective, so much more confident sounding if you just speak slower. If you just slow the fuck down, because you've been in school, right, and watched presentations, or at work you watch someone present something on a screen or something, and the number one factor that, you know, affects whether they have a good presentation or not is often how fast they're speaking. Because if they're just rumbling on and it's a bunch of boring, you know, data or something they're presenting, some bullshit, you know, slides, and if they're talking really fast, it's like, okay, this person isn't really a good teacher, because they don't even seem confident in what they're teaching, and we're not even gonna remember anything because it's going so too fast, right? You want to be rememberable. You want people to have remember what you're saying. And the second thing is composure. And this plays along with basically if you're that stressed or like timid or, you know, I just want to be invisible type of person, or also if you're trying to show off. Because composure is made up of like a timeline, right? A scale, basically. And far to the left, there's the collapsed version of you. And that's the version of you that's just like this, right? And you really don't want to be seen. And you're really not taking up that much space. And it's reflected in your speech as well. You're really not, you know, chest up and talking like you're the president. Not because you are, but you're really talking like you owe everybody in the room some money and you're really stressed and you really just want to go home and jack off in your fucking mom's basement, right? And on the other far right on the scale, there's posing and posturing. So that's when you're overly posturing like this, and you think you're the biggest boss in the world, and you're walking around saying like, yeah, you better get me that, better make me a fucking salad. Like you're making orders, you're posturing, you think you know, people are supposed to just beg down on their knees to you. Like that isn't going to happen, right? Because then you're just being delusional. So in that scale, basically, you want to be somewhere in the middle, right? That's when you found composure. When you're obviously not, you would never, you know, bow to someone else and go, you know, be like this and not have confident body language and not be sure of what you're saying and have a strong, you know, tone speaking from your stomach and having your chest up a little bit, good posture. You would have that, but you wouldn't bring it too far, just being kind of an asshole, right? So that's composure right there. And now for the second big aspect of how to play with people like their dogs, you need authority. You need to be the guy that people want to play with. Because if they find it's better to just play by themselves, why would they want to play with you? Or if it's better to just play with other people? Because you gotta have something about you where there's a pull to you, towards you. And there's only gonna be a pull towards you if you actually am someone that has the ability to pull that shit out of people, to pull that dog out of them. And you gotta be at a 40 figure. I'm not talking about you being the biggest CEO of fucking Apple or a president or the most popular guy in school or at work, or you know, it's none of that. It's just, can you live and breathe and actually live, not just look like this, but can you live confidence? Can you live discipline, leadership? Can you live like gratitude? Can you live enjoyment? If you can live those five things that I just listed: confidence, discipline, leadership, gratitude, and enjoyment, you're basically the authority, because not a lot of people can actually live those things, not just look like they have confidence and discipline, leadership, gratitude, enjoyment, but actually have all those things. So how do you accumulate those things? Well, you basically got to go out and live it. You got to go out and live as if you're confident. And maybe that, what would help in that is making sure you're confident in your looks. So making sure you're taking care of yourself facially, aesthetically, with your clothing, and making sure you're hitting the gym so you're actually healthy and you're building some type of body that actually makes you more confident in yourself. And you got to be, you know, have a good posture, use your body when you speak. You're naturally going to be more confident when you don't have to fake it till you make it, but like you're faking it till you become it. Once you've become it, then you're confident, right? Discipline. Well, you gotta just wake up, not linger in bed, not use your phone all day. It's basically like juicing your 100% of your potential today and not doing the things that you want, that your monkey brain wants you to do right now because they're pleasurable right now, like eating that, going to the store and getting some chocolate right now because yeah, it will taste good for a few seconds. No, you gotta have discipline and prolong the reward. That's delayed gratification. Wait for the gratification. Actually put in the work now and then you'll get rewarded later, right? That's developing discipline. And once you do that, once you say no to temptations and small stuff that isn't really great anyways, then you'll develop discipline. Now, leadership, that can be developed if you're just taking on people who need some help, maybe need some guidance. You could do what I'm doing, doing YouTube videos and talking to guys online, giving advice and shit. That's a form of leadership. It's a form of leadership to be the person in the friend group who, goes somewhere first. He is the one to first, you know, talk about something important. He brings the value to the group first. And he's bold by doing that, but he gets rewarded by, yeah, that's the leader. That's the leadership qualities that we want right there. And, so take on some responsibility for others and you'll become a better leader. And gratitude, that's pretty simple. You just gotta look around and be grateful for what you have. And I'm grateful for this cup right here, right? And I do a gratitude journal. It's a practice you do every day where you just write down 3 to 5 things that you're grateful for. And you write it down in a little journal. And I always do this in the morning, in my morning routine. You can do that practice as well. Or you could even write to a person, a loved one, someone that you hold close, or someone that you haven't spoken to in a while, and basically say it that you're grateful for having them in your life, right? Because, often people don't hear that a lot. And the fifth one is enjoyment. Enjoyment is doing what the fuck ever you want to do. It's not, harder than that. That's how simple it is. You gotta just do what the fuck you want to do in life and you'll find it enjoyable. Don't listen to people that aren't where you want to be in life, which is basically no one because no one has the same exact plan that you have. No one has the exact same ambitions. But find people maybe that are like minded that you can like go on a journey together with. And sure, if you're drifting apart somewhere in the future, that's fine. You're gonna go your own way, but at least don't be held back from doing what you want in life just because of other people or other influences. Don't be on social media all the time. That's not gonna be enjoyable. You're not gonna find enjoyment in an algorithm, by an app, by a company. You're not. You're gonna find enjoyment in doing the things you want to do every day. Okay? Once you got those 5, you're basically gonna be that authority figure. Then you're also gonna want to have some confidence, right? For real. Like you're not there's a lot of guys that can try to live all these areas up in their lives, lift them up, and become some kind of authority. But when you really look at them, they're kind of fucked up in the inside. Like they got all these exterior things outside in their life. They got the confidence because they built the physique and the looks, the hairstyle, got a really nice clothing on. They got the job, they got the discipline to wake up, work hard and stuff. They got some friends, they're the leader in the friend group. They're grateful for whatever, you know, shit they have in life and they're trying to enjoy their life. But they're really just fucked up inside because they really just haven't accumulated some confidence through actually experiencing how it is, knowing that you're not really knowing that you have a voice in your head that's saying to you, I'm faking it. I'm not real. People are gonna find me out. This is not me, which I've had, and probably you as well, watching this and realizing that that's not you, that's your confidence. That's where you find your confidence. Realizing that the voice that's telling you, I'm faking it, I'm no one's gonna believe me that this is actually me because I don't even believe in myself, so why would I even try? All these negative self beliefs are really just like, think of them as not you, but your thoughts, and your thoughts are like this annoying fucking roommate. Like, imagine if you took your thoughts and just brought them outside of your body, and imagine if they were an annoying other person like your roommate that were with you all the time 24/7. He just followed you around everywhere and just spit all these negative fucking shit to you all the day, all during the day. And he told you what to worry about. Oh my god, you got this coming up. Oh, do you remember that shit? Like, just japs, right? Just japs. And that's your thoughts. That's not you. So you got to separate yourself from your thoughts and realize that when you hear those, I'm faking it, I'm not, real, people are going to find me out, you're just going to laugh at that shit because you are confident. That's what a confident person does. They laugh at the negative self beliefs, the limitations, and they don't worry about them because they know they can do whatever they put their mind to, right? And they realize that it's just bullshit. Once you do that, once you actually master not just what's outside of you, what's you know outside factors like money and whatever bullshit. Like, once you master the inside your own mind, then you're actually confident, and that's gonna bleed out through you and be noticeable. People, like I said, with that dog sense, we're gonna be able to smell it. We're gonna be able to tell it in your gut that you're a confident person, not just because what you have materially, what kind of success you have, because there's a lot of fucking presidents that aren't really that confident, and at least a lot of successful people that really are kind of broken inside because their own head is fucking with them. But once you master your own head, you'll be fucking with that head, right? You'll be the one in control. The last thing I want you to think about to naturally just be someone that can play with people like their dogs is enjoyment maxing, and or fun maxing, maybe. That I've heard of that statement before. And I have three things that you really want to like zoom in on in terms of fun maxing. It's obviously bringing more enjoyment to your life, but some things that has to do with your social connection in fun maxing is making a lot of statements, fun statements, instead of just asking questions. Like, imagine in a romantic setting, you're sitting there with a woman on a date, girl, and instead of just asking the boring questions like, well, how are you? And where are you from? Do you have a family? Or do you have a family? Maybe, of course, he probably has a family, but do you have siblings? Do you have this, that? What are you doing in school? All these fucking boring questions are gonna get you nowhere. You're not connecting in any way. You're basically fucking strangers that are keeping like the stranger awkwardness around because you're just asking boring questions. Instead, what you could do is make assumptions in forms of statements and let them lead you somewhere. So if she says, "Yeah, I'm studying mathematics at university or school, whatever," you could say, "So, oh, so I bet you've always been a straight A student." That's you making an assumption. You're using the words "I bet" or "so you must really like you must be a nerd," right? You're making these assumptions, and then she's telling you something. She's gonna give you information for free, basically. Not, you haven't even asked her for it. She's just gonna respond to that because she knows if it's correct or not. She's gonna correct you. She says, "No, I have actually never gotten an A before, so I'm not really a nerd. I just really am passionate about, numbers," or something. And then you're gonna ask something, not ask, you're gonna make another statement based on that, right? And she's gonna give you more info. This is how these FBI motherfuckers get everything they want out of people, right? Also, don't ever argue with fucking people, especially in a romantic setting with your partner. Don't just argue with people. Like, I don't understand why, like, my dad and my sister especially are like this. They don't find some point where you can discuss and you can just bounce ideas back and forth, and you might not agree, but you see the other person's viewpoint and you ask yourself, why, can that be true? And you say, like, yeah, explain to me why you think like that. But with my dad and my sister, they don't really go there. They just go to, attack mode and want to argue with you all day to prove their point. And it's really just fatiguing you, right? It's fucking up my brain, right? I don't want to do that. So I choose to just not argue and instead hear people out and bring my viewpoints to a discussion after they've spoken. Not, I'm not interrupting them. I'm not forcing my way. I'm just letting someone speak and then adding my viewpoints onto that. That's how it is. That's how you're gonna be enjoyment maxing in your conversations with people. Instead of fucking arguing and feeling bad after it, you're just gonna be a chill guy, right? You're gonna be a chill guy that can have discussions with whoever. You can have discussions with your greatest fucking enemy. Like, if you're a Democrat in the United States and you're that chill type of person, you can have a discussion with Donald Trump and not making an argument because you're just chill, right? You enjoyment maxing. You prioritize having fun rather than fucking arguing some political bullshit, right? And the last thing is the golden rule, and I touched on it earlier, and it's just doing what the fuck you want. That is the number one kind of smell thing that people can smell like dogs. If this guy is doing what the fuck he wants to do, or is there some propaganda that he's following? He's this type of person. Like, you can put him in a box, right? Okay, he believes this and this based on just seeing him walk and talk and shit like that. If you're that type of person, you're just an NPC. Just do what the fuck you want in life, and you'll actually be someone that's interesting, right? You'll have some qualities that automatically puts you into the authority and comfortness. Like, if I were to talk to, if you're watching this, if you're a guy that's really just have followed this golden rule forever, right? You always have done what the fuck you wanted to do. You've always done that. Then you're probably already doing this shit. You probably already are these qualities, confidence and authority and confidence already. Because it's just the rewards you get from doing what the fuck you want to do often. Now, sure, there's psychopaths and there's, murderers, and they shouldn't just do what the fuck they want because they're obviously, there's obviously something wrong going inside of their heads. But if you have a good, if you're a good-willed person, doing what the fuck you want is actually gonna get you more respect and get you more love and shit like that. So always come back to that rule. That's the golden rule. Always come back to that rule when you're asking yourself what to do. But if you're following all these steps, you're gonna play with people like the dogs, basically. So yeah, make sure to go on a free call with me if you want to just ask me questions. It's like a Q&A kind of between just you and me, and I'm not gonna sell you anything, and it's not an upsell or anything. It's just like ask me questions for free so I can get to know you, my viewers, and like help you guys. So that's the top link in the description. And also please subscribe and like if you enjoyed this video, this format of me walking around just sipping on some coffee. Well, it's just water. But yeah, and I guess I'll see you in another video. Goodbye.